Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here today, this fine Monday morning, as you recover from your Christmas week, Christmas weekend, Christmas falling on Thursday as it did, made for, I'm sure, a long Christmas celebration for many families. And so glad you took a few moments this morning to be here. If you want to follow along, we will be in Genesis chapter 11, beginning in verse number 27 this morning. And again, another section of genealogy. And as I have stated previously, I am learning to appreciate the genealogy passages, something I never thought would come out of my mouth. I am not a person who is concerned much with even my own genealogy. I know who my mother and father are. I knew my grandparents and several of my of my great grandparents. That's about as far up my family tree as I know, and don't really have any concern to know any further. Don't really see how it would affect me, and so genealogy is just not something that that has ever really caught my eye, and certainly not biblical genealogy, but I have learned again to appreciate it. And this passage is actually, while some it would be easy again to skip over it as we start going down through. This was the father and this was the mother, and they had children and they didn't have children, and seems like a passage it would be easy just to skip right over. But it's actually a pretty important piece of text, and the reason is mainly is because this passage is not only a passage of genealogy, but it is a passage of transition. There's not going to be a test later on all these names and how long they lived and how many children they have, but it does introduce us to the life and times, the call of Abraham, and introduces us to that. It again shows us the moving of God, how He continues to deal with the human race. Again, we've seen enough by now in just 11 chapters of Genesis to know that it would have been justifiable, it would have been simple for God to simply have washed His hands of this whole man experiment, to have just walked away from this whole thing and said, I quit. It's not worth the headaches. But we see once again in this passage, as generation passes to generation, as we see this continue to happen, that God continues to work. Man has proven himself as corrupt. He has corrupted himself. He has corrupted himself once again, even this line that he's using, that we see again, all kinds of wickedness and immorality that has crept into even again this godly line, this line that God has chosen to bless and to use to further the kingdom. Even again here we're going to learn as you read through this that Abram's father was a idol worshiper. We see that in Joshua, in the 24th chapter of Joshua, that Abram's father was an idol worshiper. It doesn't seem to be anywhere in Scripture that says that he was anything except an idol worshiper, that he never actually worshipped God. And so once again, we see that if this lineage that will lead to the Messiah is going to be rescued, God's going to have to step in. He's going to have to come out of mercy. God's going to have to exercise mercy, grace, love, compassion, forgiveness to this line, because they certainly have not done anything special. They have repeatedly sinned. They have repeatedly done things their own way. And yet, as we watch and we follow this family and we follow this genealogy, we continue to see God intervene. I think that would probably be the statement if we looked at any of our family tree. Again, I don't know, but about 3 generations up my family tree. But I'm quite certain that and that's part of the reason I haven't looked it up, is because I don't think I want to know. I'm quite certain I won't have to go too far up my family tree to find embarrassment. I'm quite certain I won't have to go very far at all to find some scoundrels and crooks up my family tree, just as we find some up Abraham's family tree, and we'd probably find some up your family tree. But thank God in His mercy, in His grace, that He looks beyond those things. As the old song goes, He looked beyond my faults and saw my needs. It very well may be that one day my family looks up their family tree and discovers that they decide I was an embarrassment. And that's my prayer. I pray that wouldn't be the case. But let's 2 things from this. Let's think about. Let's be thankful that God has continued to be merciful and graceful, even when our family line didn't deserve it. And let's be cautious and careful that we're not the reason that shame is brought to our generations. Have a good one. Think about it. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.